Local SEO and local SEO citations. What I want to discuss today is NAP consistency. NAP consistency for multiple locations. I want to talk about citation building cleanups. Should you be paying for it if you move locations? What if I move locations? Should I rebuild or should I clean up? What is the process? Everything to do with local SEO, NAP consistency, and multiple locations. That's exactly what I'm going to cover today. My name is Chris Palmer, and I do not want to waste any time. So let's get directly into it. So first and foremost, the very first thing that I want to cover is going to be the freshness algorithm. Now, this will all come full circle and it will all make sense in just a moment. So the very first thing is how search algorithms work. Now, this isn't some random article. This is on Google's website. They're trying to be transparent. Now, most of the time it has to do with news, but all the time for each query, they're always looking for the freshest content. So with that being said, if we know that Google has a freshness algorithm as showcased here, and down here you can read more about it or visit this URL, we know they're always looking for fresh content. But Chris, I thought we were talking about local citations, multiple locations, and consistency. We are, but I need you to know that Google always wants the fresh content. Now, the second piece is if we are looking for queries, all right, and we know Google's looking for fresh content. Most businesses, let's just use mine for instance, have a Google My Business listing. Inside of your Google My Business location, regardless if you have one location or multiple, if they're verified, you're going to have your address. But Chris, what if I hide my address? What if I'm a service-based business? You still give them an address, right? So with that being said, these details are still in the system. You're going to add the fresher content to your Google My Business. And there's one more step. You know, we know that Google is, especially for local, they're taking our Google My Business details and they're also looking at our website. And we know this because if we do a query, I'm using this query for one reason and one reason only, because I know it'll pop the result I need just to make a point. If you scroll on down, take a look. Their website mentions Quad City movers. So this means they're reading the data. Is what I'm showing users on Google My Business, is that what exactly I'm showing users over on my website? They want to make sure. Much like when you're doing your on-page optimization, your title tag and your H1 should be very similar because Google wants to know, hey, is what they're showing us, is that what they're showing users? They want you to be a transparent business. They want to know what's fresh, and they're reading both sets. So, do I feel, all right, this question, if I moved, which I have, all right, we'll take mine as instance. I had a business over in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. I moved to Tamaqua, Pennsylvania. Did I rebuild or did I go over and spend $500 or I don't know this service. I'm just using this as an example. You know, I'm sure you could get it cheaper or more money, but what I'm getting at is, do you think that I would have spent the money to have a cleanup service, or is it just a scare tactic so they can offer us a service, right? It's a scare tactic. It doesn't matter. A, Google's looking for the freshest piece of content. B, they're reading the information that we put inside of our Google My Business details. And C, they're going and reading and corresponding what's on the website. So do I need to spend money or spend time, because it's going to be one or the other, cleaning that up, or should I just build new? My best advice is I would just build new and make sure all of these details are going to be congruent with one another. Now, there's one more step that you need to go ahead and take care of, all right? And this is something called data aggregators. Now, I'm not promoting these businesses or services, but you're going to have to pay for this. And after I move locations, or if I have multiple locations, one of the first things I always recommend business owners is to go ahead and submit to your data aggregators. Now, there's one company in particular. You could take a look here. Here's a graph. We could look at pricing. I don't use them for anything else other than data aggregator submission. You can read more about data aggregators if you would like on this page, or we could go for what's a data aggregator. Take a look here. It's submission to your business details, all right? It's for your business details to be submitted to all of these different places. So if I move locales, my website says my new details, my new citations say the details, and also my Google My Business say the details, the next step is going to be pay the $60 because that's the cheapest. Literally, it's the cheapest to be submitted to all three main data aggregators like Info Group, amongst others. It's $60. Pay the $60, you're going to be, it's so much better than paying for $500 cleanup. All right, let's move on. What about multiple locations? This is something that happens quite consistently. Chris, citations, what if I have multiple locations? Well, let me break this down just a little bit more, but keep those other thoughts in your mind. The freshness and Google's corresponding details, okay? Remember those too, but now let's elaborate a little bit more for multiple locations. Now, when we're talking about multiple locations, all right, there's a couple ways to go about this, all right? Now, I want you to take a look at this page here. So, you can use what is called a subdomain. Now, a subdomain, if we're targeting by state or by county, you could do, Houston.mainwebsite.com. Let's say we're targeting a new state, all right? Now, a better way to do it so we can retain all authority is build a internal page, or, it's going to be a subfolder of the main domain. So much like this second result. So this is a subdomain. This is a subfolder, all right? So it's going to be mainwebsite.com / then you could have your state and then your location. Now, when you have multiple locations, right? This is a question I get quite consistently. Should I be building new citations to each locale? Now, I got a lot of guff from this because I made a video saying, hey, you guys want an edge, you need to be following the same process. Remember when you had your main verified listing? You went out, you got your verified listing, right? You have your GMB. What did you do? You built your initial citations to the home page, submitted to aggregators, maybe some secondary directories. So if we know that Google, let's take a look here briefly, and this is from Search Engine Journal, they might not be SEOs, but I see them on the chats, they have good communications with Google. I would take their word for it on this one, right? But Google ranks web pages, not the entire website. So why, if I have multiple locations, why wouldn't I initiate and build out a secondary set of citation services? Why wouldn't I go ahead and do that? So what I want to get at is this. Let's come back over here. Stick with me here. Is this. It's going to be the best thing for you and your business if you have multiple business locations. First and foremost, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and get your business verified within Google. The next step is the best thing to do is create your subfolders and build your initial citations, of course, here. But for each location, because Google ranks pages, not the whole site, each page is looked at as its own entity, build citations to each of those new locale pages, not each little town. But if you have a top level page like a municipality and then you list the towns, or maybe you list a state and you have all your subdirectories, the best thing to do is build your secondary citations here, all right? Build it to the top level page or the state page, all right? Because again, we know that Google's looking for the freshest details. We know that Google is corresponding data from the GMB. Again, they're corresponding the data. As you can see, they're looking at the website. So each one of these internal pages is going to have the verified listings address on it, a separate phone number on it, NAP, name, address, phone number. So I have a new address, a new phone number, and I have a different name. Generally, when you have your locale pages, if I have multiple locations, it's going to be Kentucky Fried Chicken, Houston, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Fort Myers, Florida, whatever the case is. So we want to have different locales, different name, address, phone number on different pages with different verified listings with new citations. Multiple locations, multiple citations. All right, now last but not least, let me touch on this. I get this one quite a bit. What about a service area business? Now, when you're creating and you're setting up your details, you're still giving an address, right? You still have to get your mail somewhere. You're putting yourself at a disadvantage if you're not creating your citations, you're not putting out your details, if you have to hide it or if you have something to hide, that's fine. But go take a look at the map. You're putting yourself at a disadvantage if you're hiding your details. All right? So, my name is Chris Palmer. If you have any further questions related to local SEO citations, citation services, data aggregators, really anything at all, always feel free, go ahead and ask in the comments below, and I most certainly look forward to seeing you in the next local SEO, local citations video. Have a wonderful day.